3.
See, when that starts going, then you're good. Is it blinking?
Yeah, it is. 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, my name's Kyle. Our group's topic was teamwork. So first I'm just going to talk a little bit about the importance of having happy employee teams. First off, it assists with higher production within your organization and decreased expenses as well when it comes to recruiting costs and things like that. Because the happier your employees are, better off that you are overall, your company as well. Some of the importance of having non-happy employees is that, again, you cut costs, you reduce your turnover rate, which is a huge thing for many companies across the country and on a global scale as well. As you can see here, I have a picture of employees fighting and whatnot. That's what you don't want in any company or organization. So the importance of having employee teams in your company as well, how it benefits your company in particular is it increases your capital, increases your maximum output capacity in particular, which means they do a better job of getting the job done, the overall goal of the company, when they all work together. Also, if they don't get along or they're not as happy as they could be, that often leads your company to failure. Your company doesn't hit its target or its goal that it's looking to hit due to the fact that employees aren't as well off as they should be overall. As you can see there, the picture of the target being missed by the archer. So the first team type I'm going to discuss a little bit about is just the informal teams. First off, informal teams in particular are very
Turn your phones off.
very focused on social purposes. They're not very organized, and often they don't go in line with an organization's overall goal. In particular, you're going to see them often in elementary schools, clubs, societies, things like that, because they're more casual as opposed to more structured and serious. So as you can see, like the science clubs, everyone's been a part of a club, so we can all relate to that in some sort. They're not really in line with the company's major driving direction. They kind of just come together. Very informal, not organized. An example of a traditional team, that's another very popular one, is something that you see in faculty within colleges as well, but also this is more of a widely used one across the board by other companies and everything like that. This one in particular does go in line with the company's or organization's goals, and particularly the general direction of where it's going to go. For example, I have a picture of a psychology faculty staff on the right. They are meant to provide a service. That's what they're expected to do, and that's why they form a traditional team. And in addition, we also have a customer service department as well. In particular, that's why that is something that you normally do see. When it comes to problem solving, this is another very important team strategy that's used for big corporations, especially today. There's functional and cross-functional. So what that means is these teams, when a company or organization hits a lump in the road that they can't fix or they can't get over, a hurdle, they usually bring in experts from across the entire area of their company to combine and go over with that in particular. As you can see here, I have a little off, but problem solving. The previous picture was just a different group of people like engineers and construction workers and doctors and researchers coming together to go over that hurdle as well. A few examples of the leadership type teams. The leadership type teams in particular are more on the lower level management side. That's where you're going to find this team type in particular for your first line of management. That's where you're really going to find that as opposed to the higher level executive, which are more of a different team type, which I'll get to very shortly. Like I said, you're going to find these cross-sectional leadership teams, the lower management, across big companies such as Sony, big banks, things like that, where they have so many employees that they need that level management to be across the board. It's particularly important to those companies above all. Some of these self-directed type teams are more not so much directed towards the company goal overall. You're going to find a group of people that usually come together. They're self-directed, so the company really doesn't have to force them to go in a direction. They're just expected to do it. They're often you've seen on like in research companies, smaller projects. That's where they are seen as well. When it comes to Self-directed teams, you're also going to find them at college universities, and in particular, you're going to find them in team-based environments where there's a heavy emphasis on teamwork, just because the team decides in that type of team as well. Virtual teams is a very popular thing in today's world and in business today, because companies can communicate on the spot all across the globe in particular. So as you can see, when it comes to but anyway, usually they can communicate through means of social media, Skype, things like that. It makes it very easy, and often it cuts costs as well. So that's where you're going to really find that in particular. That's why it's so widely used today, and it's very efficient for the transfer of information in a timely manner. That's where you're really going to see that. So when it comes to the more of a strategic team base, you're going to see that strategic teams are mainly the higher level executives. These are the people like the board of trustees, executive directors, company directors. That's where you're really going to find these strategy-based teams. As the previous slide showed before, had a picture of the chess piece, the king, queen, rookie, and bishop, and things like that. More importantly, the strategic team, this is what's really going to draw a lot of, they're going to be the main driving force of the company to specifically what direction that you're going to go into. They're going to be the ones that have a lot of power and will guide your company towards that in particular. So overall, when it comes to the benefits of having teams, you're going to find that having good teams increases the productivity of your company, increases your compensation that you can get at the end of the year. And the most important thing is just having a happy work environment for your employees, and gets your company to have a good reputation to just to keep conducting business and whatnot. So when it comes to having teams, different types of teams are used all across the world, and they're very specific to what type of business or company that you're going to be with in particular. So obviously an engineering type of company is going to have different teams as opposed to a sales company, just due to the nature and direction of the company. So that is it.
Very good. We're just going to pause real quick while she gets ready. Kylie did a fine job, first person out of the gates. We appreciate it. Good eye contact, I know, is especially good. Love that you had the cards but did not use them. And I think that's fine stepping stones. I mean, it's good not to use the cards. Well, I understand why we have the cards. Don't get me wrong. I would prefer we not, and I give lots of breaks for that. But that was I had them, I didn't really need them. Now, his slideshow jumped a whole slide on you, and I thought he did a really good job of containing that. So this one was running at least a whole slide in front of that one.
I noticed that.
It happens a lot. So if you run a secondary slideshow, I'm not even sure why, but almost all the time they run the timer or something. So that wasn't strange. All right.
Hello, my name is JL, and I will be presenting on the stages of team development. There are 5 stages, and they are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. These are also known as Tuckman's theory. Okay, the first stage is forming, and this is where teams are starting to get to know one another. The team is just being formed. Members are forming their first impressions of each other. They're just getting the feel for each other, and it's sort of just a very awkward stage. It's the normal first time you're all meeting. The second thing about forming is that you are depending a lot on your team leader, sort of like these little ducklings follow their mom. They're looking on their leader for guidance and direction. This leader could be a manager, a supervisor. It could also just be a regular team member. It doesn't matter. In forming the team, we'll also learn about the project's objectives and goals. This is when you're reading out the instructions. You're just trying to figure out what everyone's doing, what you're supposed to be doing, and you're just bouncing off ideas off of each other. Again, it's a very awkward stage, so in this stage there are feelings of insecurity, confusion, there's doubt. Members aren't really committed to the whole idea of being a team yet. You're like screaming internally, you're like, I don't want to do this. It's awkward first stage. The second stage is storming, and this is when the team is really sort of starting to work together. So they might run into conflicts. People start to disagree on ideas, on how things should be done, and sometimes these problems could be very severe, or they could not be. This is where questions start to arise about who is responsible for what, and if there should be any adjustments made to leadership. Also, a sense of competition may develop. Team members may become annoyed with the leader. They may sort of compete with one another, and they may want to change the vision of the project. Because of discomfort that comes in this stage, some members may start to dominate the topics more of the team, and then some members might fall into the background. But in order to progress from this storming stage, everyone needs to learn how to listen to each other and just work together, as in the third stage of norming. So norming is when everyone sort of knows what they're doing, they're establishing rules of how to do things, and hopefully by this point all the conflicts that they had before have been resolved, and they can finally start to get things done. The team is no longer focused on individual goals, rather they have these collective goals that they're all trying to work towards, and working together as a team isn't as forced as it was in the first stage, so everything's sort of flowing more naturally, hopefully, at this point. So for example, sometimes, like, I'm sure we've all been there, like, we have a group project, and you're, like, grouped with these people, like, you don't know, you don't like them, really, but then, like, after some time passed, you're like, oh, phew, like, this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like, we actually got things done, and now I can move on with my life. But back to norming, the reason that this stage, the team is working together so cohesively is because you have a much higher level of trust. People start to depend on their team leaders and their team members. They're not just, looking towards their leader as a sole, person they have to adhere to. The fourth stage is performing, and this is when the team is at its highest peak. Like, it's finally doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. Everyone's highly motivated. They can make decisions. They can problem solve quickly. This is where you want to be. And even though there's still a team leader in performing, the leader is just there sort of to keep up this team building camaraderie. They're not, there's not so much oversight anymore. This is where things are getting done again, and life is good. Things are going good. Unfortunately, not everyone gets to the performing stage. Sometimes teams go back to a previous stage, such as storming, which you don't want to go back to. But this is where the leader steps up and they become a unit again because of what the leader would do. So hopefully they become efficient again, they become productive, and they start working together. And the final stage is adjourning. Not all teams reach adjourning, because sometimes the team is working. It has no expiration date, but sometimes, for example, a group project, the expiration date is when the project's done. So you reach the adjourning stage. In this stage, it's really important to recognize individual achievements as well as the group achievements, obviously. So let's say a company has a really successful marketing campaign. You would obviously celebrate it as a whole, but whoever put in a couple more hours, you should probably say oh, good job, for being one of the best people. So this is where people say goodbye. If the team worked well and was very cohesive and did everything it was supposed to do, those goodbyes would be sad. They'd be oh, I hope we get to work together again. But if the team wasn't that efficient, you would just move on with your life. It didn't matter. So in summary, the Tuckman's team model has 5 stages, and those are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Sorry, it's a lot of earnings. So in forming, it's when you first meet everyone. In storming, it's when conflicts start to rise. In norming, it's when things